Everybody, and welcome to All Creatures Animal Hospital puppy class. This is Gabby, and I am one of the veterinary assistants at All Creatures Animal Hospital. So today we're going to be talking about puppy teething and dental care. So it's just, something that's a big topic. Going through the teething stage, it can be frustrating and painful. So I'm going to go over some tips, and it kind of correlates with what we were talking about last week with the toys. Again, All Creatures Animal Hospital puppy class, and my name is Gabby. So if you do ever have any questions and you want to call the clinic, you can ask for me directly and we can set up a time to talk. If there's questions of something that maybe I didn't address or from a previous video. So, puppy shark teeth, because that's what they feel like. So we're going to talk a little bit about biting versus teething. So right now they're really just teething at this age, and they do get a little excited and they get really nippy, but the best thing that we're going to do is going to redirect them with a toy. So always have a toy available on you 24/7, especially while they're going through this phase. Whether it's a rope toy, I have some of our pictures from the things we talked about last week. So some rope toys, these little Kong stuffed animals, rawhides. But, especially something little like a rope toy you can keep in your pocket so that when they do start to get nippy, and they're chewing on something, I put on here skin, fingers, arms, slippers. They're not acceptable toys. So even though it's cute at first because it may be really soft, or they're just super tiny and you feel like they could never harm a fly with those teeth, it can get painful and get frustrating. So get them used to focusing on a toy sooner than later, so that they already know that it's acceptable to chew on toys and not on you. So same with kids, it's really hard because when, with kids, they're a little easier to get with these puppies, as far as nibbling on them. So have the kids involved, teach them, to have a little toy in their pocket to give them, and to just kind of play. And here, this is what you're supposed to be teething on, not on the things that are unacceptable, like skin, fingers, things like that. I even put slippers on there too because, they do love chewing on, your shoes and things like that. And you may have an old pair of shoes that you don't really care about, and you're like, oh yeah, that's fine, I'll give them, to Fluffy to chew on. But the thing that's hard is that they don't understand the difference between an old or a new shoe. So if you let them think that it's okay to chew on an old shoe, they're going to go to your new shoes. So try to just nip that habit in the butt by getting, having those toys available, and just have a lot of different variety of toys for them to chew on to keep their mouths busy. We talked about Kongs in the last week's episode. Rawhides are great, but just have a variety. You may need to make them fun by having some peanut butter on them or wet food. And I talk about little tricks with this in our last video, so you'll definitely have to check out our dog toys PowerPoint from last week if you did not see that already. And then always remember positive reinforcement. So it's really hard to not get frustrated and want to say no or to yell at them, but when you're getting excited and yelling at them and telling them no, you're just giving them attention, and so then they think it's a game. Or like when kids run away when they're getting really nippy, they think it's a game and they think it's fun. And they don't understand that what they're doing is painful. A lot of other dogs have a higher pain threshold, so when they're playing in between, each other as puppies, it's way different than when they're playing with us. So, positive reinforcement, so you want to praise the good, ignore the bad, so just redirect them. I always, say use a happy timeout to your advantage. So use the crate, not that you're yelling at them or anything like that, but sometimes they get overstimulated and they just get to this point where they become really nippy and really excited, And no matter how many times you're redirecting and getting them to do something else, they still keep trying to get at you and, chew on your legs or chew on your feet or whatever it is. And sometimes you just kind of have to give them a happy time out. I'll put them upside down on their back, put them in a submissive position just to give them a minute to calm down and kind of like recompose themselves, and then give them a toy and try to get them to play with that and see if maybe just kind of calming them down for a few minutes helps. And then also, put them in their crate, give them a toy, and here you go, let's go play in here. You're not yelling at them, you're not making a punishment, but it's just like, okay, here, let's go over here, let's play. You kind of take some time to yourself, and then we'll come out, in like 10-15 minutes, and then we'll try again. And they'll learn quickly that, hey, I get to stay out, I get treats, I get praised when I'm chewing on my toys quietly and behaving, versus when they're acting crazy and getting into stuff they're not supposed to. They get put in their crate or kind of get put in a submissive position. So it's not, like this big punishment, but it's just to kind of like refocus them, because I feel like sometimes they just get so excited and so wrapped up in playing that they don't realize how tough they're being as far as like the chewing and stuff. And I'm going through it right now. I actually got my grandfather a golden retriever puppy that he's going to be coming to pick up, and so I'm on puppy duty right now, so I'm going through this firsthand, which just kind of refreshes everything that I went through before with my Great Dane. So those teeth do definitely hurt, so use the toys to your advantage because your hands and fingers will definitely thank you for that. But so just remember the positive reinforcement, no matter how crazy, but putting them on their back really helps and kind of like just composes them to realize they're being crazy, and it kind of refocuses them back on their toys. So puppies do start teething around 2 to 3 months of age, and it goes up until they're 7 months of age. So there's a little chart in here. If you have come to All Creatures and you've gotten our puppy packs, whether it's been printed out or emailed to you, I know recently we've been doing emailing. We also have it on our website now. We have all of this information, but this is just a puppy milestones, and I just like it because it has just a picture for you to see. So it talks in here, 4 to 6 weeks, the full temporary teeth erupt. So typically when you get your puppy by 8 to 10 weeks of age, they already have their baby teeth in. And then anywhere from 3 to 5 months, their permanent teeth begin to replace their temporary teeth. So when we were kids, we went through, getting our baby teeth, and then it took several years, and then all of a sudden our baby teeth fell out, and then we had empty spaces, and then eventually our adult teeth grew in. Well, with puppies, everything happens way faster. So in the process of them getting their teeth, so literally from, 3 weeks old all the way until 6 weeks old, they're getting no teeth to baby teeth. And then they're going from having baby teeth to getting their adult teeth. And what's happening is in those same spots that those baby teeth are, their adult teeth are actually pushing those baby teeth out. So that is why they get very nippy around this age, and they always need to keep their mouths busy. And, so it's super important, just having that to think about, getting them through this, and having those toys and redirecting will just really help save you the patience, help, you get through this portion as easily as possible. You may see baby teeth fall out, you may not. A lot of puppies do end up swallowing their baby teeth, so it's hit or miss whether you'll see them. Every time your baby comes in for vaccines, we do check their teeth, make sure everything's coming out properly, see if any of them have been coming out, if they've gotten any adult teeth in. With our smaller breeds, they can get what's called retained baby teeth, which means their adult tooth, instead of replacing that baby tooth and pushing that baby tooth out and growing in the same spot, the adult tooth actually slightly moves over and grows right next to it. So then there's 2 teeth in one area, which is not healthy. So we do always recommend getting those retained baby teeth pulled out when your baby is spay or neutered. So we do talk to you about that if we do notice that's the case. But, you know, most of the time they do fall out like they're supposed to and there's no issues. But that is why, you know, especially in this 3-month part, or as they get closer to the 3 months of age, you know, they do get really nippy and start to want to chew on everything that they have in front of them. And this just talks about some other stuff, so some other milestones, but I just really liked the dental detail part for these guys. So, talking about teething and getting through all of that, you know, we do want to talk about dental health. So, dental health is super important for these guys. So, you know, you think of dogs, you know, sometimes when I wasn't very educated on animal health, I had no idea that it was important to brush dogs' teeth, but they do get plaque and tartar and gingivitis just like we do. So, it's important to stay on top of their dental health. Whenever they come in for their exams, like I said, starting as a puppy all the way up until they're adults and seniors. During an exam, their teeth are always being checked to see what kind of dental grade they have, if they have any plaque or tartar buildup, and if they need a professional under anesthesia dental cleaning. Unfortunately, these guys do not stay awake like we do and just, or not stay awake, but stay still like we do and keep their mouths open to actually do a dental cleaning properly. So they do have to go under anesthesia for that procedure. And it's just, you know, what's safest for them. So to be able to get used to doing some of these things at home as far as dental health to help, you know, you can prolong or like push that full anesthetic dental cleaning out into the future. A lot of our smaller breed dogs, by the time they're sometimes 1 year old or 2 years old, they need a full dental cleaning. But if you get into the habit of things now and start brushing their teeth and getting into a routine, you know, you could push that off until they're 3 or 4 years of age, which is great. So definitely want to try to implement this and put this into your little routine like we've talked about before, kind of having a schedule and doing this. And I think it's a great task to have kids involved with. So, you know, it's super easy to do. So teeth should be brushed twice a day, just like we do. You do need to use a doggy toothbrush and toothpaste, which I'll go over some examples on the next slide. Don't use human toothpaste because there are things in the human toothpaste that are toxic, so you will have to get a specific dog toothpaste, which they have at PetSmart, Petco, Chewy.com. Everywhere you can find a doggy toothpaste. They have a lot different flavors. They have vanilla mint, they have chicken, they have beef, all sorts of weird flavors to help with dogs, so it almost becomes a treat. You want to slowly practice and get them used to having their teeth brushed, so it may be a little bit of a process. You have to work on keeping them still. Putting them in that submissive position on their back is definitely the most important. And, you know, getting them in a comfortable position. So just spending like 10, 15 minutes a night on it, but you'll have to slowly get them used to having their teeth brushed. So why is it important to brush their teeth? So just like we talked about before, reducing the risk of, or reducing the amount of plaque and tartar buildup. We don't want bacteria, going into their bloodstream. It's the same thing as us. If we don't take care of our teeth and we have a lot of bacteria that ends up in our bloodstream and into our body, it's going to cause a lot of issues. So it's the same for these guys. So we want to keep up with their dental health just like we keep up with ours. So on here, there's another little chart or a little picture here that is in our puppy pack as well, but I just put it on here so you can see how they slowly get, their dog used to having their teeth brushed. So, at first, just use your finger. Use a little bit of the toothpaste on your finger. Get them used to the taste. It becomes a treat. If it's chicken flavored, put a little on there. Just kind of rub it on their gums. Slowly get them used to having, their mouth messed with. And then eventually, you can work to doing a toothbrush and putting the toothpaste on there. But it's really, at first, just kind of getting them used to it. And then once they're used to it and it becomes more of a cooperative thing, then you can start, to do it twice a day. But down here it says some tips for success. So brush your dog's teeth at least 2 or 3 times per week. So at first, as you're getting them used to that, but ideally it should be twice a day. Concentrate on the outside of the teeth. You want to praise. So again, we always talk about positive reinforcement. So praise your baby as they're doing good and behaving for you. And like it says on here, if your dog tolerates only a brief brushing, don't be discouraged. Just keep practicing, and the more you do it, the more they'll get used to it, and it won't be such a big deal. They do have these different versions of toothbrush kits. So they have the mini toothbrush, which wraps around your finger for our smaller babies. And then they have a regular toothbrush kit for a bigger baby. So depending on your pup size, you have a couple different options. Again, these things are found at Chewy, Petco, PetSmart, everywhere you can find pet products on Amazon. At our clinic, we have them. So they're easy to find. It's not anything that's going to be complicated for you. But, do it, get into the habits. Start to implement it into your schedule so that you can push those off. Some dogs, just like humans, will always have dental issues. Some may need it every year. Some may need it every couple of years. Some larger breeds maybe need it every few years. It just kind of depends. But if you can do the best you can to try to help, make their dental health better, try to take as much part in that, that will definitely help them in the future when it comes to their dental health. So there are some other cleaning alternatives. So you can do the chews. We've talked about rawhides before in our last little toy discussion in PowerPoint. These Verbac ones, the CET, these ones actually have a coating of I can't think of chlorhexidine, that actually helps clean. So that's another dental cleaning alternative if you really feel like you just can't be committed to brushing teeth, or your dog is giving you too much of a hard time to be able to do that. You can do chews. There are greenies. They now have puppy ones, which these are 6 months and up, so you can't really use them under 6 months of age. But they are, great to have. They are expensive, so that's kind of up to you whether you want to invest in those or not. I can't really tell you if they 100% work as good as like a rawhide or brushing the teeth. I think something is better than nothing, but my Great Dane used to have them, but it was more of like a treat for him. But it's up to you. Sometimes if they have these greenies, it can turn their poop green, so I just like to make people aware of that so they're not scared if they happen to give a greenie, and that happens. But they do have lots of other chews like this, but I think a rawhide, just because they're a little harder and they require the dog to work on them and kind of chew a little more than just a soft treat, I think the chews would be better, but that's up to you in preference. They have this Aquadent stuff that you can mix in their water. They have, foams out there. They have wipes. They have all sorts of different things. So, if you can implement a couple of these things into your puppy's routine to help with the dental health, you'll definitely, it will go a long way and it will really help. And just to be able to push that anesthetic procedure off for these guys to have to get a full dental cleaning. But it is important to do. We want to make sure that their dental health is good and healthy for them, so that they're comfortable, because just like we can get tooth pains and different things we can get uncomfortable with when we are not on top of our dental care. So it can be the same for these guys. So talking about this stuff and looking at the different products and options is super important. But this video will be up so you guys can look back. If you do want a copy, if you have a hard time finding the sheet on teeth brushing, or even the milestones paper, just let us know. We can always email that to you. We have all of these available that we can send. But again, some of these are also on our Facebook, or not our Facebook page, but our website. I do also have, I didn't put on the PowerPoint, but going back to teething, you know, some people do ask about the bitter apple sprays, if they work. Those are hit and miss. I've tried it with, or I did try it with my Great Dane when he was teething. And, you know, I tried spraying it on like some cords and things he was chewing on, tried it on my hands, and it didn't really phase him. I think he liked the taste, and it was kind of more like a game on, let's see what else you'll spray it with so I can chew on it type situation. Some dogs truly don't like the taste of it, so it's hit or miss. I can't say that the bitter apple spray is a 100% guarantee to work, but you're more than welcome to try. But you know, just make sure, you know, we've talked about puppy proofing our home too, you know, before. So you know, just make sure you're paying attention to them, keeping their mouths busy with toys, rope toys, rawhides, kongs, things like that, to get you through these few months of teething. And then, you know, once those adult teeth come in, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And then they will, you know, not be so nippy and crazy, but just to get you through this. But I hope this helped when it comes to the teething. And again, if you have any other questions, or if there's something that I didn't address, you can definitely reach out to the clinic. Again, you can ask for me. My name is Gabby, and we can set up a time to talk, or you can ask any of the lovely staff at All Creatures, and they can definitely help you. Or you can reach out through Facebook if you do have any questions. But I hope this helped and you guys get through your teething days with your puppies. And if, you know, just let us know if you have any questions. But I hope you have a great day.